If you are over 60 and your legs feel noticeably weaker than they did 5 years ago, if climbing a single flight of stairs leaves your thighs burning and shaking by the second step, or if your knees ache with that deep, grinding soreness that makes you hesitate before you even stand up from a chair, stop right now and do not scroll past this. Because what you are experiencing is not simply getting older, it is not inevitable, and it is not something you just have to accept and learn to live around. What is happening inside your legs right now has a specific biological cause. Uh, and today, I am going to show you exactly what it is, and exactly how a single inexpensive vitamin that costs less than a cup of coffee per week can begin reversing it. I am Dr. Michael Kent, and on this channel I bring you evidence-based guidance built specifically for adults over 60, the kind of information that actually changes how you feel inside your body, not just on paper. Before we go any further, if this is your first time here, I want you to hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss the guidance that could genuinely transform your health every single week. But before anything else, I need you to do one thing. Drop one word in the comments right now. Stairs, knees, or weak. Just one word that matches what your legs are telling you today. I read every single comment personally, and your answer shapes exactly what I cover next for this community. One word. Go ahead and type it right now. Here is what almost nobody is telling adults over 60 in America, and I want you to really sit with this because it changes the entire picture of what is happening inside your body. Your legs, the muscles, the tendons, the cartilage, the blood vessel walls, all of it, are seen twine, not made mostly of fakes, of sates, calcium. Their saints, they are not made mostly of protein the way most people assume. The single most abundant structural material in every layer of your leg tissue is collagen. Collagen is quite literally the scaffolding that holds your body together. It is what gives your tendons the tensile strength to move your knees without snapping. It is what keeps your cartilage thick and cushioned so bones do not grind against each other. It is what maintains the elasticity of your blood vessel walls so that circulation reaches your feet and calves efficiently. And it is what provides the structural framework inside your muscle tissue that allows those muscles to generate force, recover from use, and stay full and strong over time. At 30 years old, your body produces collagen constantly, consistently, and abundantly. You do not notice it because it is simply always there doing its job. But here is what changes after 60 that nobody explains clearly enough. Collagen synthesis, the rate at which your body actually builds new collagen, does not just slow down modestly. Research shows that after the age of 40, you lose roughly 1 to 1.5% of your total collagen production every single year. That number does not sound alarming until you do the math. By the time you are 60, you have already lost somewhere between 20 and 30% of your body's collagen-making capacity compared to when you were younger. By 70, that loss is even more pronounced. And it is not evenly distributed. Your legs, because they carry your full body weight through every step of every day, feel that structural loss earlier, more intensely, and more unmistakably than almost anywhere else. That is why your knees started aching before your shoulders did. That is why your thighs feel like they lost their power before your arms did. That is why walking even moderate distances leaves you more fatigued than it used to. This is not aging in the vague, undefined sense of the word. This is a specific, measurable, documented loss of structural material happening in the exact tissues your legs depend on. And the reason most Americans over 60 are accelerating that loss faster than they realize has everything to do with one nutrient that is almost completely ignored in standard medical conversations about aging legs. The enemy within. What is actually stealing your collagen? Before I tell you about the vitamin that can rebuild what has been lost, I need to spend a few minutes on the forces actively working against your collagen right now, because supplementing your way back to strong legs while the destruction is still accelerating is like bailing water out of a sinking boat without plugging the hole first. You need to understand both sides of this. The first and most damaging force is chronic elevated blood sugar. And I am not only talking about people with diagnosed diabetes. I am talking about the broad population of Americans over 60 who eat a standard Western diet that produces repeated blood sugar spikes throughout the day without any formal diagnosis. Every time blood sugar rises sharply, a process called glycation occurs inside your tissues. During glycation, sugar molecules attach to collagen fibers and stiffen them. They make those fibers brittle, inflexible, and progressively non-functional. Glycated collagen in your tendons and cartilage cannot bend, cannot absorb impact properly, and cannot be repaired effectively. Over years, this process contributes directly to the joint stiffness and reduced leg function that so many Americans over 60 chalk up to simply getting old. The second force is chronic systemic inflammation, the same quiet, persistent, low-level inflammatory state that affects vascular health that I discussed in detail on this channel previously. That inflammation produces compounds that directly degrade existing collagen fibers at the molecular level. Every day that silent inflammation goes unaddressed, your collagen is being chemically broken down faster than your body can replace it. And the third force, and this is the one I really want you to hear, is a widespread nutritional deficiency that almost nobody over 60 in America is being screened for or warned about adequately. According to data collected through national health and nutrition surveys in the United States, a meaningful percentage of adults over 60 are running chronically low on a single vitamin that their bodies cannot make new collagen without. Not low as in borderline insufficient. Low as in their collagen-producing machinery is essentially stalled because it is missing the one compound that makes the entire process run. That vitamin is vitamin C. The mechanism, why vitamin C is the ignition key for collagen. I want to explain this carefully because once you understand what is happening at the biochemical level inside your leg tissues, the significance of vitamin C stops sounding like a general wellness claim and starts sounding like exactly what the research shows it to be. Essential, non-negotiable, and urgently relevant to adults over 60. When your body builds a strand of collagen, it begins with a chain of amino acids. The raw materials, glycine, proline, lysine, are assembled into what is called procollagen inside your cells. But that procollagen is unstable and cannot function as structural tissue until a critical processing step occurs. That step requires two specific enzymes. One is called prolyl hydroxylase and the other is called lysyl hydroxylase. These two enzymes take the proline and lysine components of procollagen and hydroxylate them, meaning they chemically transform them into a form that allows the collagen chain to twist into its signature triple helix structure. That triple helix is what gives collagen its extraordinary strength and resilience. Without it, the molecule cannot hold together, and cannot function as structural material. Here is where vitamin C enters the picture with a role that is, absolutely central and completely irreplaceable. Both of those hydroxylase enzymes, the ones that do the critical processing work, require vitamin C as a direct cofactor in order to function at all. Not as a helpful addition, not as a supplement that speeds things up. Vitamin C is literally what keeps the active iron center in those enzymes in its functional reduced form. Without adequate vitamin C, those enzymes cannot operate. They sit idle. Procollagen chains accumulate unfinished, and your body's ability to produce new, structurally sound collagen drops to a fraction of what it should be. There is no workaround. There is no other nutrient that substitutes for it in this specific role. Vitamin C is the ignition key for your collagen-building machinery. When the key is missing, the machinery does not run. Period. Your legs, which depend on a continuous supply of fresh collagen to replace the 1 to 1.5% that naturally degrades every year, begin losing ground faster than they can recover. The tendons become less elastic, the cartilage thins, the muscle tissue loses structural integrity, and you feel all of that as precisely the weakness, aching, and fatigue you recognized at the beginning of this video. The muscle connection, sarcopenia, and vitamin C. I want to stay on this for another moment because the collagen angle is only half of the story. What happens to your leg muscles specifically when vitamin C levels drop is something most physicians, in standard practice, simply do not address. A major study drawing on data from over 13,000 men and women through the European Prospective Investigation into Cancer and Nutrition, using participants ranging in age from their 40s all the way into their 80s, found a clear and consistent relationship. People who consumed the highest amounts of vitamin C had the greatest skeletal muscle mass. People who consumed the least had the smallest, and the researchers confirmed this not just through dietary reporting, but through direct blood measurement of vitamin C levels in participants. What is particularly significant for anyone over 60 is the leg-specific finding from a companion study by the same research team. That study found that women who consumed more vitamin C not only had more muscle mass but had measurably better leg function. Specifically, they were stronger. This is not a surrogate marker or an indirect inference. It was a direct measurement of leg strength, and vitamin C intake correlated with it positively and consistently. A separate piece of research published in the journal Biology examined what happens to leg muscles specifically when vitamin C levels fall to deficient ranges. The results were, striking. The gastrocnemius, which is your primary calf muscle, the soleus, the tibialis anterior, all the major muscles that run through your lower leg and allow you to walk, push off, and climb stairs, showed significant reductions in size and weight after 12 weeks of vitamin C deficiency. Physical endurance dropped measurably, grip strength fell, overall activity declined. And the most important finding of that entire study, when vitamin C was fully restored to adequate levels, the muscle atrophy completely reversed over 12 weeks. Not partially, not modestly, completely reversed. The leg muscles came back, the strength came back, the physical endurance came back. That is not the behavior of a vague nutritional supplement. That is the behavior of a biological essential that your leg muscles cannot maintain their structure without. The vascular connection. Vitamin C and leg circulation. The third dimension of this story involves your blood vessels. Specifically the ones supplying your legs, and it connects directly to why leg fatigue, heaviness, and that persistent sense of your legs being slow to respond are so common in Americans over 60. Your leg blood vessels, the arteries, veins, and capillaries, have walls built primarily of type Y4 collagen. That collagen is what gives those walls their structural integrity, their flexibility under pressure, and their ability to expand and contract rhythmically as blood flows through. When collagen in those vessel walls degrades faster than it is replaced, the walls stiffen, become less elastic, and lose some of their capacity to regulate blood flow efficiently to the surrounding muscle tissue. But vitamin C's role in your leg circulation goes beyond collagen. Research published in a major review of vascular endothelial function established that vitamin C plays a critical role in preserving something called nitric oxide bioavailability in your blood vessel walls. You may have heard me discuss nitric oxide before. It is the chemical signal that tells your blood vessels to relax and dilate, allowing more blood to flow freely through them. Vitamin C helps preserve and regenerate a compound called tetrahydrobiopterin, which is an essential cofactor for the enzyme that actually produces nitric oxide in your blood vessel walls. Without adequate vitamin C, that nitric oxide production diminishes. Your leg vessels become less responsive, blood flow to the muscles becomes less efficient, and you experience that as the heaviness, the slow recovery after exertion, and the legs that feel fatigued before the day is even halfway done. Vitamin C also reduces vascular inflammation directly, helps tighten the endothelial barrier, and protects blood vessel walls from oxidative damage. Every one of these functions has a direct impact on how well your legs are perfused with blood and how efficiently they recover from activity. And all of them depend on your vitamin C levels being not just non-deficient, but genuinely adequate, which is a higher bar than most people over 60 in America are currently meeting. The shocking truth about deficiency American seniors. Here is the truth about where most Americans over 60 actually stand on vitamin C right now. And I'm not going to soften this because it is important. Data from national health surveys in the United States shows that men over 60 have a higher prevalence of vitamin C deficiency than younger men. Studies looking specifically at hospitalized elderly patients found rates of clinical vitamin C deficiency that were, genuinely alarming. Not rare edge cases, but a significant portion of the elderly population showing levels low enough to impair biological function. Research has documented that vitamin C deficiency is associated with greater frailty severity in older adults, and a case series from a major American hospital system published in a peer-reviewed journal confirmed that vitamin C deficiency in elderly patients was directly producing symptoms including leg pain, leg weakness, and skin changes, symptoms that were being attributed to other causes until the deficiency was identified and corrected. This is happening right now, quietly, across households in cities from Phoenix to Philadelphia, from Milwaukee to Miami, And the reason most people over 60 do not know their vitamin C status is that it is rarely tested as a standard part of a routine checkup in American medical practice. Your blood pressure is checked, your cholesterol is measured, your blood sugar is screened. But the vitamin C status of your skeletal muscle, your tendons, your cartilage, and your blood vessels, that often goes entirely unexamined. If your legs have been getting noticeably weaker over the past few years, and especially if you are not consistently eating multiple servings of fresh fruits and vegetables every single day, and studies show that a significant portion of Americans over 60 are not, then a chronic low-grade vitamin C shortfall is one of the most likely contributors to what you are experiencing. And the good news is that it is one of the most correctable. What depletes vitamin C faster in older adults? Before I walk you through exactly how to restore your vitamin C and begin rebuilding the collagen your legs have lost, I want to be honest about the specific factors that drain vitamin C faster in adults over 60 in America, because simply taking a supplement while these factors are operating at full force will slow your recovery significantly. Smoking, and even the residual damage from decades of past smoking, uses up vitamin C at a dramatically accelerated rate. The oxidative load that smoking creates in tissues forces your body to consume available vitamin C rapidly just to manage that damage. If you smoked for any significant portion of your adult life, your baseline requirement for vitamin C is higher than the standard recommendation accounts for. This is well established in the research. Chronic stress is the second factor, and I am not talking about occasional stress. I am talking about the sustained background stress that many Americans over 60 carry from decades of work, caregiving, financial pressure, and health anxiety. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, accelerates vitamin C consumption in your adrenal glands, which use vitamin C in higher concentrations than almost any other tissue in the body. Sustained elevated cortisol essentially creates a continuous drain on your available vitamin C, leaving less for your muscles, tendons, and blood vessels. Certain common medications widely used by Americans over 60 also affect vitamin C absorption and availability. Aspirin, which millions of Americans take daily for cardiovascular protection, reduces vitamin C levels in the blood when taken regularly. Long-term use of corticosteroids for inflammatory conditions produces a similar effect. And the simple fact of reduced dietary variety, which is common in older adults living alone or on fixed incomes in cities like Detroit, Cleveland, and Baltimore, means many people are consuming less fresh produce daily than they were 20 years ago. All of these factors compound each other, and when you add the baseline decline in collagen synthesis that begins in your 40s, plus the daily 1% structural loss in your tendons and cartilage, plus chronically low vitamin C that is quietly stalling your collagen rebuilding machinery, the result is exactly the picture your legs are painting for you right now. The solution: how to use vitamin C correctly for your legs. Now here is what you actually do about it, and I am going to be precise and specific because the difference between effective vitamin C use for leg collagen rebuilding and ineffective use comes down to three things: the form, the timing, and the combination. Form first. Not all vitamin C products on the shelf at your local Walgreens or CVS are equal in terms of how well they actually absorb into your tissues. Standard ascorbic acid, the plain white tablet form available at almost every American pharmacy and grocery store, for well under $15 for a 2-month supply, is genuinely effective and is the form used in the majority of the research behind everything I have just told you. It is not necessary to spend money on elaborate liposmal formulations or expensive branded products unless you have a specific digestive sensitivity to standard ascorbic acid. The plain form works, it is cheap, and it is available everywhere. What does matter is the dose. For meaningful collagen synthesis support, research points to a range of 500 to 1,000 milligrams per day. The standard recommended daily allowance for adults, 75 to 90 milligrams, was set to prevent deficiency, not to optimize collagen production in aging tissue. These are different thresholds, and the research on muscle mass, tendon health, and vascular function in seniors points consistently toward the higher range as meaningful for structural support. If you have kidney disease or a history of kidney stones, speak with your physician before increasing your dose. This is a genuine medical consideration that I want to state plainly. Timing second, and this is the detail most people completely miss. Vitamin C is water soluble, and your body does not store large reserves of it the way it stores fat soluble vitamins. Whatever you consume is processed within hours, and what is not immediately used is cleared. This means that taking one large dose once a day is significantly less effective for sustained tissue maintenance than splitting your intake into two smaller doses, one in the morning and one in the afternoon or with dinner. Two 250 to 500 milligram doses spaced throughout the day maintains a more consistent level of vitamin C in your blood and tissues, and research on collagen synthesis suggests that sustained availability, not peak spikes, is what your collagen-building enzymes actually need to keep working. Morning and evening. Split your dose. That is, the most practical and effective approach for daily use. Combination third, and this is where it gets genuinely powerful. Vitamin C does not work in isolation for collagen rebuilding. It requires the raw structural materials to be present. The two most critical building blocks for the collagen chains, your leg tendons, cartilage, and blood vessels, are made of the amino acids, glycine and proline. Your body produces some of both, but research on collagen synthesis in aging adults consistently shows that dietary glycine and proline intake matters, particularly in older Americans whose dietary protein tends to be lower than optimal. Bone broth, widely available at grocery stores across the country, is one of the most concentrated natural sources of both glycine and proline in the American diet. A daily cup of warm bone broth paired with your morning vitamin C dose provides your collagen machinery with both the ignition key and the building materials at the same time. That combination is more effective than either alone. The best food sources, real vitamin C for your legs. Now I want to spend a moment on food sources because supplements are not the only path here, and for many people the dietary approach is more sustainable and more enjoyable. The richest vitamin C sources available at virtually every American grocery store, from a Walmart in rural Tennessee to a Whole Foods in downtown Chicago, are not the ones most people think of first. Bell peppers, particularly red bell peppers, contain roughly 3 times the vitamin C of an orange for the same serving size. One medium red bell pepper provides more vitamin C than you need for the entire day. Sliced raw, added to a salad, or simply eaten as a snack with a meal. Pincherotsi is a palmo, den dauk, mainelfin scherf. Yatsik farson tubis, menchatsov, datsikenchies dets, latik arsets, my chart to mind, Mykikenchizosaurus, Metikostes and teas, the accessible and cost-effective vitamin C deliveries available. Strawberries, widely available fresh across most of the continental United States from spring through fall and frozen year-round, provide excellent vitamin C, along with polyphenols that work alongside it to reduce vascular inflammation. Frozen strawberries retain nearly the same vitamin C content as fresh. Broccoli, which most American families already include occasionally, is another concentrated source that delivers vitamin C alongside compounds that directly support gut health and the absorption of the minerals your collagen machinery also depends on. Citrus, oranges, grapefruits, clementines are the intuitive choice most people think of first, and they are genuinely effective, though not the most concentrated source available. One important note for Americans over 60 taking certain medications: grapefruit and grapefruit juice have well-documented interactions with several common prescription drugs, including certain statins and blood pressure medications. If you are on medication, check with your physician or pharmacist before adding grapefruit as a regular daily source. Kiwi fruit, often overlooked by Americans, provides more vitamin C per gram than orange juice and is available year-round at most major grocery chains. 2 kiwis per day alongside a modest supplement dose gets most adults over 60 to a range genuinely supportive of active collagen synthesis. The 7-Day Challenge. Here is your challenge starting tomorrow morning, and I want you to take this seriously because the biology I have just walked you through is real, it is measurable, and your body will respond to it if you give it the right inputs consistently. Morning of day 1. Take 500 milligrams of plain vitamin C with breakfast. Make your breakfast include at least one of the food sources I just described: half a bell pepper, a cup of strawberries, 2 kiwis, a cup of broccoli alongside your eggs. In the evening, Take another 250 to 500 milligrams with dinner. If you can add a warm cup of bone broth at any point during the day, do it. Do that every single day for 7 days without missing one. And on day 7, I want you to ask yourself 3 honest questions. Are your legs less fatigued when you climb stairs than they were 7 days ago? Is there less of that grinding ache in your knees when you stand up from a chair? Do your legs feel less like they are working against you and more like they are working with you? These are the earliest signals that your collagen-producing machinery is waking back up. They are not dramatic, they are not overnight, but they are real, and if you are paying genuine attention to your body across 7 days, you will begin to feel them shifting. Then, come back to this video, scroll to the comments, and tell me specifically which symptom improved first and what you noticed by day 7. Your answer is not just feedback for me. It is evidence for every other person in this community who is sitting right now exactly where you were at the beginning of this video, uncertain, frustrated, and not yet sure whether any of this is actually worth trying. Your comment could be the single thing that moves them to start. Your doctor may not have told you. I want to close with something that I say to my patients directly, and I want to say it to you with the same honesty. The American medical system does a genuinely excellent job of managing crisis, of responding to the acute, the urgent, the immediately dangerous. What it does less well is the sustained, nuanced conversation about nutritional biology and how something as inexpensive and available as vitamin C can have profound structural consequences for your tendons, cartilage, and muscles when it is chronically low. Your physician is not withholding this information to be unhelpful. Most appointments are simply too short to go this deep. 15 minutes does not leave room for the conversation I just had with you over the past 35. That is the entire reason this channel exists. Not to replace your medical care, never that, but to give you the depth, the context, and the biological understanding that empowers you to ask better questions and make more informed decisions about what goes into your body every single day.